Hello and welcome back to NMA TV. My name is Jerry Mullins with the National Mining Association. We're here live from the Las Vegas Convention Center, MINExpo 2024, very exciting time. And I am honored to have the president of the Idaho Mining Association up here with me, Ben Davenport. Welcome, it's good to see you.
Thanks, sir, good to see you, appreciate you.
Well, I tell you what, with the success of this show and just the immense diversity of the products that are here, I was wondering what your impressions were as you sort of walked the halls.
Yeah, no, I mean, I've been a few other times, Jerry, as you know, and it just continues to outdo itself from the last time, right? I mean, the diversity of the vendors and the number of vendors is something that sometimes it's hard to wrap your brain around. A lot of walking and a lot of chatting like we always do,
yep,
but
no
it's been great.
You know, I was curious, as a fourth generation Idahoan, you know, how do you see mining as like the personality of the state? You know, what's the impact on the economy and the jobs, and how do people respond to it?
Yeah, mining has played a significant role in Idaho's history, right? I mean, like many other western states, we were settled by miners. We've got a miner on our flag, so mining has played a large role historically in our state. A majority of our state geographically is rurally based, right? So a large number of folks come from areas that are mining and are timber and agriculturally based natural resource industries, right? And so, similar to other states, the urban areas, they consume the product, but they don't know necessarily what we do in the hinterlands of Idaho, I guess. But these jobs are meaningful to a place like Soda Springs, Idaho, or a place like Homedale, Idaho, or Marsing, Idaho, and these small, very small communities that don't have industry and don't have jobs. When you can put a few hundred miners to work, earning very good wages, and you can, bring in the support businesses to help them mine. It has meaningful impact to these communities, and it helps them keep their kids at home, right? It provides an avenue for kids to go to school and come back to their communities and then raise the next generation of Idahoans.
You know, I was tremendously struck by, and thank you again for your generosity in taking me up on a mine tour up at Perpetua, a couple hours north of Boise, and such an exciting project. I got to believe that's going to make real big changes for the county and the state. As it kind of ramps up operations.
Yeah, we're very hopeful. That project finally got a draft record of decision last month. It's a meaningful project. It is a past operating mine, and it's going to bring a lot of jobs, and it's also going to clean up a past mined area that has been left by a generation ago of miners, right? And so we're really hopeful that project can get off the ground. We're hopeful that it's kind of the tip of the iceberg in Idaho. Once we've been hoping to get something across the finish line so that we can show the rest of the world that indeed Idaho and the U.S. Forest Service can permit mines in Idaho.
That's great. Well, when you see excitement like that, does it translate into other smaller companies that are now getting more engaged and kind of pursuing, whether it be an exploration or actually just kind of pursuing where the mineral developments, identifying where they are? Is that something that is a byproduct?
It is, Jerry. I mean, the reality is we can't mine where the mineral isn't, right? And so we've got a very diverse mineral resource base in Idaho, right? So it's not just gold, it's not just silver, it's not just phosphates, moly. We've got a lot of things. So when we start talking about being able to get federal permits to mine, and Idaho is 63% owned by the federal government. So we've got a process to get there. But once we can get there and show the world that we can get there, I think we can tell a different story. And we're starting to see a significant amount of smaller junior companies coming in and poking around for gold, poking around for some criticals and some rare earths. So things are things are looking up, and that's why I kind of say that Perpetua thing hopefully is the tip of the iceberg. I mean, the base is much larger than the tip, but somebody's got to be the first one out of the water, I suppose.
Well, I know, Governor Little is a tireless supporter of the industry, and he always talks about the need for a streamlining of regulation. Have you seen any processes that are getting better, or is that still one of the bigger challenges our industry has?
Yeah, I mean, again, back to the federal ownership. I mean, it takes time. It takes time to get through the NEPA process. It takes time to work with stakeholders in the communities. It takes time to work with our partners in the conservation space. So at the federal level, certainly there is work to be done on the permitting side. In Idaho, we are a low regulatory state. He has done a lot to cut red tape. But right now, it's not the regulation that's the problem, it's the people. Similar to us in industry, our regulators are having a hard time filling seats and finding staff and finding folks to help process our permits, right? So we're okay on the regulatory side, but we need more people that know what mining is all over this country, I think, to help us streamline these projects and push the permitting through.
Gotcha. Just curious, what do you Idaho, but also across the board, when we talk about urban centers, right, and they have difficulty understanding or appreciating what mining offers, how do you suggest miners and advocates like ourselves, what are keys to those conversations that can advance in a positive manner?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know all the answers, Jerry, and we've got a host of people that are smarter than me working on these things, but the reality is people think their meat comes from the grocery store, and so we've got to find a way for folks to connect the dots, A, but B, I from time to time I tell people what I do, and they, their answer or their next question is, oh, we still do that in Idaho? Well, yeah, we still do it. I mean, we're consuming the products at an unprecedented rate, and so, I mean, part of it, I think, is connecting the dots, but part of it is also, humanizing miners and humanizing mining instead of just, our detractors have done a really good job of showing a large hole in the ground and something that we've done 100 years ago, and telling everyone that is mining. Well, that's not mining, and there are people tied to mining, and so I think trying to find a way to help the urban centers or anyone understand that when we talk about mining, we're talking about people, and we're talking about jobs, and we're talking about children, and we're talking about support to our local school districts, and we're talking about sponsoring the football team or the baseball team or buying new lockers for the high school. That's what we're talking about when we talk about opening a mine 100%. In a very rural community.
Gotcha. Well, we're in Vegas. Anything fun you got going on? Or
more fun than I could admit on this little program here, Jerry. I appreciate the question.
We'll probably end it there.
Yeah,
Ben, thank you so much for being here. Folks, we'll be back in a few minutes, and we'll be back with Ashley Burke and His Eminence, Jimmy Brock. Stay tuned.